Hey, what up, decisive marketers? So a lot of you are saying that I hyped up this tool, um, and that is completely untrue, as in like the way that you guys mentioned it, right? Because there is only a way to hype up something if the tool is or the software itself is able to match up with the hype, right? Because otherwise there's no point in me doing that, because a lot of you are just going to refund anyway, right? Because there's always a refund period for some of these tools. So this, and I know, I completely understand some of you when you are saying like this tool is completely hype, because you are a skeptic, just like I was, right? Because AI writing, right? So many of them out there. I feel the same way as well. I didn't even really bother to test this out because the company that is providing the software is they had a open beta, and I was in fact asked to create an account on the day that they had the open beta. Um, and I did test it out. I wouldn't say I really tested out. I just created an account, spent about 5 to 10 minutes there. I didn't really bother trying to make use of it at all. So I didn't even know that I wasn't even giving it a good test drive until the tool was launched, and I was being asked again to test it out, and definitely am impressed by it right now. And there is definitely a reason why I am impressed. And some of you skeptics out there, you are saying the reason why you're saying that this is hype is because this tool is actually selling for more than $1,000 for the top plan. But that's actually completely untrue as well, because they do have a entry level plan that only goes for $49. I personally, for me, I am able to afford a tool that goes over $1,000 if it's worth it, of course, because I'm able to, right? But for those of you who feel that $1,000 for a tool like this is definitely out of your budget, then look at some of the lower plans that are available. And this tool that we are talking about right now is Scalenut. So Scalenut is a AI powered SEO assistant. So what it does is that it is somewhat similar to the SEO content optimizers that you have seen. It's a SEO content optimizer with AI writing capabilities. Okay, it is like Writer Zen. It is like Phrase. It is like what else was there? Blogely that I've covered. Similar content. These are some of the tools that were out there, outranking as well. And also at the same time, right, Scalenut is a AI writing assistant. So these that means we are talking about your niches, your long shot AI, your what else? Your content board, your closers copy, all of that tools, all of those tools. And every single tool, right, has a value to it, where it stands out. Okay, so for example, Writer Zen, its selling point is the keyword clusters, as well as the keyword difficulty that they show you in terms of like backlinks, your sub competition, right? So that's something that stands out from the other SEO content optimizers. While Phrase, where it stands out is that it integrates with your Google Search Console and look at the entire web of your website and suggest to you where some of the weak content gaps you have, so that you can write content on them to improve it, right? As well as like it automatically generates a content brief for you. While outranking, the selling point is the concepts feature. I would say, to be honest, outranking is not really an AI sorry, it's not really a content optimizer. In my opinion, it's more like a AI writing tool that has that concepts feature where you can plug in a keyword. It understands the topic and generates output that are relevant, even if it's like a latest topic out there, because it doesn't it because with like the AI engine like GPT 3, they only have topics up to 2019. So if there's a latest gadget that's launched, you are not able to use AI writing to generate relevant content on it, right? So but where Scalenut really stands out, there is two things that I want to bring up first. Scalenut uses Google NLP. So NLP stands for natural language processing. So when you create a SEO report on the keyword that you like to create content on, it gives you the NLP terms, right? And NLP is actually, that data is actually coming from Google itself, right? Because they're using the API for Google NLP, where what Google NLP does is that Google is actually trying to understand the piece of content on your website. What is it talking about, right? And it doesn't just look at your content, but the entire content on the internet itself on this topic. So when you try to make use of Scalenut, it is pulling in that data from Google NLP that gives you, I would say, the most accurate and relevant terms that you need to optimize for. Okay, so that's something really important to take note of. And secondly, is the AI writing assistant. Okay, so on the first point, right? In fact, I have people coming up, supporters of the tool. I mean, they use it, they love it, and they are actually coming up to me and saying that this tool is trying to become like Surfer SEO or Jarvis, right? So they're saying that this tool is almost at those level of tools that you'll be paying for on a monthly basis, right? So those are the market leaders, and Scalenut is getting close to what these guys are doing. So and I in fact, after I tested it out, some people actually came up to me and say, I'm glad you tested it out, because that was the same experience that I had. And also if the I would say that the AI writing assistant is the best that I have come across, because the output, we're talking about just the long form tools, not the short form tools. Okay, so when we talk about AI writing, there's always the short form and long form. So long form is what Scalenut is about, not the short form. They do have short form. So this is something that I don't understand sometimes when it comes to certain tools, why certain developers actually put those features in there, even though that is something that is not the selling point of the software itself. So but some people like to look at the negative points of a tool and write them off. I don't do that. I look at what the tool is good at, because I buy the tool, I look at what it's good at and use that feature, right? So for example, I made a video on Pictory, right? And I said that the AI text to video feature is terrible, which I stand by those comments. But where Pictory stands out is the transcription editing feature, which people should be looking at, not the text to video feature, because sometimes I would say that people who create these tools, they just don't know how to market them at all. And that's what it is, right? And also for Vadu TV, where the value of it is the in the video hosting, not the recording features, right? So some of these, I feel that people are looking at certain features and putting these tools down. So I just would like to clarify, right? Where Scalenut is good at is the long form writing assistant, as well as the SEO research feature, because they have and Google NLP integrated to Scalenut itself, right? So what I'm going to be doing in this video is to show you how to create an article, a high quality article. When I say high quality article as well, some people come up to me and they say that, you know, writing assistant is I mean, people, because a lot of you are you know, jaded with the AI tools out there, but Scalenut is a little bit different because the output is highly relevant. I don't know why, but because I'm not a developer, right? But what the team says is that they have really tweaked it really well to really give us the output that we are looking for. So but just take note that you shouldn't have an AI to write for you. It assists you and not write for you. With Scalenut, however, it is possible for it to generate an entire article for you, but you still have to guide the software, but it can create an entirely written article for you because of how relevant the output is. Okay, however, it is written by AI. AI does not have our experience on the topic itself, because AI, it's just information. They do not have experience. So if you were to ask the AI to write you suggestions on like what are the best strategies, or you know, the best way to do something, it is not able to do that, because and this kind of content is what people are looking for, and judge whether your content is good or not in the Google search results. Because every single content that's on the web, it is people want to, you know, they can read any article and it's the same, right? But what is different is when you add your own personal experience into the article itself, and that's something that no one can replicate. Not even AI, not even another person, right? If you hire a writer, they are definitely not able to give you that, because they are not able to put in that personal experience. Only you have that experience. So that's something that I would like to talk about. In fact, just talking about all this and clearing up all this skepticism is already taking up 30 minutes of my time. So before I dive into Scalenut, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more digital marketing and e-commerce content. So here we are in Scalenut. This is the dashboard right here. They have a sample report on healthy chips, right? So what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to be writing a article on okay, so let's not do this right now. Let me just show you where the bad points of Scalenut is. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is, okay, so Scalenut has three main features of it. The first one is the SEO assistant, which is the long form AI and SEO intelligence. The second one is the AI copywriter. This is where the short form is. And then the last one is the managed marketplace. So you can actually hire people to write for you. Okay, so this is where you can, you know, get people to write content for you. So what I'm going to be doing first is let's try the AI copywriter right here. Okay, so let's use this right on Tesla, and let's see what we can get out of this. So there are other modules as well. I'm going to be hitting on that shortly. So this just gives you some ideas on the copy, where this is your blog ideas, this is your Google Ads ideas, These are your social media posts, ideas, and some subject lines right here. So and this is entirely what Scalenut can be creating. It can create a landing page for you. So so let's say I'm gonna be creating on let's create something on Ahrefs, right? Ahrefs. Okay, and so let's type in okay, so let's use this one. In case I gotta reuse this, right? So this is the short form right here. So this is landing page hero tag. So this is the title, right? So Ahrefs okay. So the first one is Ahrefs, the leading index and keyword research tool. Not really good. Let's get started with Ahrefs today. This is so boring. This one, I guess it could sort of capture some attention. Learn how to rank higher in Google with our SEO training videos. This is also boring, right? So you can see that this is not good at all, right? So this is not where Scalenut is good at. So let's try like product descriptions. Okay, let's generate something in here. So Ahrefs is the SEO computer research. Okay, it gives me the exact same thing, right? Can you see that? It sucks. Right? It is terrible, right? So it gives me another output which is exactly the same, only this one is a little bit different. Ahrefs is a comprehensive backlink analysis tool that will show you the health of your website's backlink, organic search traffic, and social signals. You can use it to see how keywords are performing across different domains and their respective ranking positions. So this is better, but it just doesn't stand out at all, right? Let's look at the blog intro and let's see what we get. Okay, so SEO is a term that has been used for a long time now, but what does it really mean? This article explains the basics of SEO and what it should be. You see, it's not relevant at all, right? Because I'm going to be talking about Ahrefs, it does not mention it in here at all. So it is really bad in the AI short form, right? So Ahrefs is an SEO competitor research tool such as backlinks and keywords. It also allows you to research on keywords for ideas to create content for your website. Here are some steps that will help you to get started on Ahrefs and how it can be beneficial for your business. Okay, this is I would say it's just really boring. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm showing you guys the bad points. Okay, Scalenut is not for short form, guys. That's something to take note of. Okay, so don't use Scalenut for what it sucks at. Okay, so next thing, let's jump into Cherry MX Switch. I'm going to be writing about this topic right here, Cherry MX Switch gaming keyboard, and I'm going to be creating a report right now. It's going to take a little while. It scrapes the top 30 articles and they run NLP algorithms on them. Since this is done in real time, the report generation may take a couple of minutes, right? So take note, right? Where Scalenut is different is that they run NLP algorithms on the top ranking 30 articles. That's where this is different compared to phrase. compared to WriterZen, compared to Outranking, Blogily, and all the other tools out there, they do not use Google NLP to analyze the article at all. That is the difference between Scalenut and these other tools. Okay, so it's applying NLP right now. Okay, and I think because of the NLP features, for example, a lot of people like to use WriterZen for keyword research. But I would say that once you make use of Scalenut, there is no need to use WriterZen anymore, because the NLP terms are highly relevant, and that is what's going to help you to rank for those keywords. Because when you write and optimize for those keywords in your content, that's what's going to help you to move up the search results. Okay, so if you're going to use WriterZen, the report that they give you is based on keywords. That's keyword data, but that keyword data does not necessarily mean that that is what Google understand and says that is relevant to the search intent itself. So something that you need to understand right here. Okay, so it's almost done. Okay, so let's give it a moment. Okay. Alright, so it's done right now. So the first thing, I usually open up the report, so that you can take a look at the report right here. Okay, so here's the report. So this is the grade, and what is the readability, the number of images, the average words count. So this is what Scalenut does, right? It's pretty much the you know what they say. So what they are saying is that the optimization score for the top 10 results is B, while it's also B in the 11 to 20th results, and anything that is after the 20th result, it sucks. Basically, it's just giving a D score right here in terms of the completeness of the content. Okay, so the top 10 results, the readability is at university graduate. So these are written a little bit more technical, I guess, while whatever is from 11 to 20th is written in the mid-school students. So probably something like 15 years old understanding, and then these are high school, which is like 17 years old. Okay, so something to take note of. So when you are writing your content, then you want to be writing based on the readability of the content. Okay, so and these are the NLP terms. So this is where this Scalenut is totally different from the rest. Okay, because Scalenut gives you NLP terms, not keywords. That's the difference, right? So it says that you got to mention cherry, because the occurrence frequency is 11 to 82, right? And it is definitely in the heading presence. Okay, so let's see. So so these are the topics. So that means in the top 10 articles, it appears, so many times. Sorry, I think the top 30 articles, it appears so many times within the articles itself. And then for Cherry MX, it is also being mentioned multiple times. And then Cherry MX Switch is also mentioned multiple times, right? Okay, so it says that these are the most important keywords that you must have in your article. Okay, and then it goes to gaming, which is also important, mechanical keyboards, typing. Can you see that the keywords here are highly relevant? Okay, highly relevant, and you can see like they mention the word linear. So you got to mention like the keyword linear, keystrokes, 5 million keystrokes, actuation, the key. You can see that certain words like actuation, that like linear as well. Okay, so these are certain keywords, right? That if you plug this into other tools, it will not. It highly does not appear in those SEO content optimizers. So if you use this probably in like outranking or phrase or writer zen, you may not see these keywords because they are completely different from what I have put in right here, right? And it tells you, yeah, you got to have the keyword actuation and stuff like that in here. Logitech, you got to mention Logitech because they have they make use of the Cherry MX switch as well, the speed. Okay, the Razer keyboards as well, right? The bump. Okay, right, can have a bump that you feel, right? So you can see that this and then you got this Caliph switches, right? I mean, it's totally different. So you will not be able to see this kind of data if you are using other SEO content optimization tools. Okay, and that's where the brilliance of Scalenut is, and then it shows you your competitors in here and teams, right? So common writing themes. So when you write your content, you want to be writing about some of these ideas in here, and then these are some questions. Okay, these are some questions that appears in the article itself, and some Reddit questions that it crawls. Google people also ask questions, and Quora questions as well. Okay, and then these are some citations. That means these are outgoing links from those top 30 articles itself. Okay, so most of them are leading to Amazon, and then some YouTube, right, Instagram as well. Okay, so that's where Scalenut is good at. Okay, so then at the same time you can share this report out right here, and then we're going to be jumping into the editor right here. So this is the Scalenut editor. This is where you create your content right here. So you got your NLP terms, which came from the report, and then the competition, and then the questions right here as well, right? So what you want to be doing first is to create your introduction paragraph. So you can just hit on generate content. Okay, and you have these outputs right here, and then you can just copy and paste them in here. Okay, so the Cherry MX switch is arguably the most popular key switch in gaming keyboards. These mechanical switches are found in nearly every modern keyboard, and the ones with Cherry MX switches are usually considered to be better than their competitors. However, there are other brands that offer quality mechanical keys as well. The Cherry MX switch has been a standard for gaming keyboards for a while now, but that doesn't mean that there aren't alternatives out there. In this article, we explore different options. Okay, so let's hit on right with AI and continue for gaming keyboards with mechanical switches. So Cherry MX black switch. Okay, so at this point we can just stop. Okay, so we got the introduction written here, and what they have right here is something really interesting called the AI connectors. So what AI connectors are is something for you to connect your paragraphs together, right? Connect your content together. So what I will do here next is actually to come up with the outline first before I use the connector to join them together. So you can go into AI operators and click on any of this right here. This AI operators are sort of something like help you to create like an outline of your content. So you can click on topics or outline. So let's click on outline. Okay, oops, sorry, I should be using something else. Okay, so I can click on topics about the content, and you will see that it generates the content for me. Okay, so this is the outline. Okay, it asks me to write about these topics right here. What I'm going to be doing, however, is let's do this instead so that it grabs the entire keyword. Okay, so let's okay. So you can click on topics again, and let's see. Okay, so what is mechanical keyboards? How do Cherry MX switch works? Why are Cherry MX switches so popular? What are the alternatives? Which is a better a mechanical or membrane keyboard? Which is better, linear or non-linear key switches? Can you see that? So this is the outline that Scalenut gives to me. It's a very highly relevant output right here. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to connect this content together. Okay, so I can just put in next. Okay, so it's going to write next. We'll go over the next best mechanical switches. Okay, so I think we don't have to use a connector right here. So we'll jump into here, which is what is a mechanical keyboard, and just click on write with AI. Okay, and it just writes for me, right? Mechanical keyboards are built to withstand years of heavy use. This is accomplished by switches which are made from metal and rubber instead of plastic or silicon. There are many different types of mechanical keys out there, but they all have some common features that make them work the same way. So, but I think this is good. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be answering this question instead. Okay. I'm going to be answering this question instead. So this is what I'm going to be doing, is to write about this content. So a mechanical keyboard is a keyboard which uses small moving parts for each key. These keyboards are generally used by gamers because of the increased speed they offer over standard keyboards. So this is good output, right? And then go click on write with AI. Okay, so a mechanical keyboard is a computer peripheral that uses mechanical switches to generate the keystrokes. The keys on a mechanical keyboard are actually built into the chassis of the device, and each one has a spring-loaded switch underneath it. And when you press down a key, this causes an electrical contact inside the. Okay, so then let me just move on here and just finish writing this sentence. Inside the switch to make a connection. When you release the key, the spring pulls back and returns to its original position. This mechanism is what allows each key on a mechanical keyboard to generate an electric signal when pressed down. The most popular type of mechanical keyboard is called the Cherry MX switch. Is called Cherry MX switches. Okay, so and then we can move this to the end. Okay, so then we can edit this. So mechanical keyboard is a keyboard which uses small moving parts for each key. These keyboards are usually used by gamers because of the increased speed they offer over standard keyboards. Mechanical keyboards are built to withstand years of heavy use. This is accomplished by the switches which are made from metal or rubber instead of plastic and silicon. There are many types of mechanical keys out there, but they all have the common features that make them work in a similar way. Let's complete the sentence and then we can end off with this. Okay, so I think this is good enough. Okay, right, so it just ends off right here. Okay, the most popular type of mechanical keyboard is called Cherry MX switches. Okay, then we'll just jump into the next one. How do Cherry MX switches work? Okay, then we'll write about this content. So cherry MX switches are a type of mechanical switch that is widely used in computer keyboards. The switches have been reverse engineered from the original whatever optical switch which was designed for use in computer mice. The cherry MX switches consist of metal plates and plastic stems inside a housing with, okay, let's write with AI. Okay, my bad. Let me just jump back in again. Let's remove this. Okay, write with AI. Housing with rubber membranes that are used to make contact with the keycaps. The housing has a small metal plate that is pressed down onto each stem. Okay, then the plastic stem sits in a cavity and attached to the metal plates. When these are pressed, this pushes. Okay, the contact is made through the membrane. The physical difference is found in the rubber domes that connect the membranes. Okay, red and blue. The red dome connects the large membrane, and last, okay, longer. There are, okay, so it's now explaining like the differences between all the MX switches. Okay, so it's explaining about cherry MX switch, red switches, and then now there's the blue switches. Okay, so this is because they use the rubber dome. So can you see that at this point I'm quite impressed, because what it is writing right now is that it's able to understand. I was writing about red. Right now I'm writing about blue, and it continues from there, right? And then cherry MX speed switches, and then I'm going to write with AI again. Okay. Okay, I think it's a little bit stuck here, right? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be refreshing. Okay, let's jump back into the content again. So just take note that of course it's not going to be perfect, right? This tool is just launched, so I can't hide anything when it comes to a video review. So this is something that I don't understand, like people saying that I hype tools, but that's actually not true, because when I make a video review, this is what it is, right? There are issues with the software sometimes, and I can't, I don't edit them from my videos at all. So I'm just going to hit with write with AI again. These are the fastest switches in the market. They use rubber domes that are made to be resistant to pressure. They use spring loaded. Okay, that doesn't take long for them to spring back up. This makes them suitable for typing and gaming. Okay, and then you talk about MX brown switches. Okay, so let's see if we can. Yeah, they have a fast actuation force. Okay, and then now it's talking about clear switches. So can you see that I don't have to write anything, because it's just generating everything for me right now. So it's now it has written everything that I need. So let's just clean up this article a little bit here. So this is heading 2, right? Heading 2. Okay, and this is heading 3. This is heading 3. Okay, it's 3. H3. Okay. Okay, so there we go. We already got, you know, quite a lot of words in here. How many we've written? 856 right now. Okay, can you see that? So let's continue, right? Let's finish writing this article in a short moment. So why are Cherry MX switches so popular, right? Let's continue writing again. Okay, and I think that we can finish writing this in, I don't know, we probably takes us like 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes to finish writing this. So Cherry MX switches are popular because they offer a wide range. Okay, and this can be confusing if you don't know what you are looking for. Okay, so I'm just going to remove some of that because I don't want to be talking about those switches again. Okay. Okay. So right here is because it's going to be talking about the switches again, right? Okay. So I'm going to be okay. So I'm going to be talking. I wrote a single line right here, right, and I'm going to continue generating here. Okay. Right, can you see that? So it's now talking a little bit more. Okay, so Cherry MX switches may not be ideal for every user, but they are suitable for people who want a fast switch because this is less. Okay, this is why Cherry MX switches have an audible. Okay, can you see that? So it's talking about like the overall plus points of Cherry MX switch. Okay, so there we go, right? This is done, right? Okay, so then we'll move on to the next one. We've already written more than 1,000 words right now. What are the alternatives to Cherry MX switch? And literally, I just gotta keep hitting on that right with AI. I'm not even using the other. Okay, let's try something, right? I'm gonna use the AI connectors right here. And see if we can add some more in here. Additionally, okay, so let's see if you can create something. Additionally, you can also find it in many other keyboards that are not gaming related. Okay, right. Okay, so we're gonna be moving on here. So I can end off with this, right? Can you see that? It adds a little bit more ideas in here. And the next one is there are a few alternatives to the Cherry MX switch. The most popular is this switch, which is a textile feedback similar to the switches. However, they don't feel as nice as Cherry MX switch because they don't have the audible click. Another alternative is the buckling spring switch, which is a lot similarity, however, does not have the textile feedback characteristic, which makes them so desirable. Okay, so there we go. or the chroma. There are also membrane switches. We are not really alternatives to the cherry MX switch because they don't have textile feedback at all. However, they do offer something that no other switch can: silent operation. This means that you won't hear the switch click when you press a key. The silent red and silent black switches are also membrane switches, but they have an audible click. They are found in keyboards such as this or this. Okay, right. So next is okay. So this is H2. Okay, then which is better, a mechanical keyboard or membrane keyboard? So let me go right with AI again. There's no clear answer to this question. Mechanical keyboards are usually more expensive than membrane keyboards, but they last longer, right, than the membrane keyboard do. More affordable. Okay, the reason people prefer is because better typing experience. Okay, in the end, it's a matter of personal preferences. You should try both types to find out which one you like best. Can you see that? I mean, it just writes everything for me. I don't even have to write anything. I probably just did like two adjustments in here, and and then we can continue writing here again. It has already written 1,401 words for me, right? I don't have to do anything except clicking on this, right? So non-linear switches tend to also be less accurate because of the actuation point is not in the center of the switch, which can cause problems with games that requires fast reflexes. Okay. Okay, so then we can do something like uh, in addition. Okay, so there we go, right? Okay, so what we're going to be doing right now is let's summarize the content. Okay, let me use the AI connector instead and click on all in all. It is a matter of personal preference. Okay, so sorry, it's taking the the one on top. Let's try conclude the content. To be honest, I have not even tested everything, every single feature right here. So mechanical keyboards are more durable and require less. Okay, I think it's trying to take from this section here. So let's put something like and let's try with conclude the content. See if we get anything. Okay. Maybe I can try selecting everything. Okay, there we go, right? So you got to select everything and then it concludes. The decision to buy a mechanical keyboard is entirely ultimately up to you. If you are looking for something that's durable, accurate, and doesn't require much maintenance, then go with linear key switches. If you want something that has smooth typing experience, lasts longer, they have a shorter actuation point. Okay. Let's write with AI. Okay. Furthermore, linear switches are more durable. Okay, no. Let me just try to select this instead. Okay. Let me see if I can try and... Okay, conclusion paragraph. Let's use this instead. Describe your content piece as to what the main objective. Okay. And then the call to action. So the outline, let's create the outline so that we can just copy and paste this in. Okay. Okay, so I think this is more like which is better. What is, I think just put in what is cherry and max switch. Call to action would be try some of the gaming keyboards using cherry and max switch below. Okay. As it offers an excellent balance between speed and responsive. Okay. I think I can use this and plug it in here, and then okay, and then if you want to have a smooth using cherry max switches below. Okay, so there we go, right? We are done. We have written 1665 words. I think we only spent about 20 to 35 minutes to do this, right? So we are writing about like 66 words in a minute. Okay, and okay, so over here we've already covered this is done, these, a lot of these keywords are done. PC, mechanical piece, what is a piece, is a PC is a personal computer. Nope. For PC. Okay. And then it talks about BUM. Okay. Laptops. Okay, so one more keyword is done. Red keyboards. Okay. So I don't think we need to optimize this one. Cherry MX Black. Okay, so I didn't cover Cherry MX Black. Cherry MX Black switches. Okay, let's write with AI. Okay, and then there's green switches as well, right? So that's covered already. DAS keyboard. So let's look at some of the context in here. DAS keyboard. I think it's a brand. Yeah, I think this is a brand. Okay. Okay, so more covered as well. And then actuation distance. These are key switches. Please, all kind of gamers can toggle between. Okay, so this is a keyboard, so there's no need for us to cover this because it doesn't talk about that, right? So USB, I don't think we need to cover that as well. Okay, key switches. I think some of these have been covered already. Okay, because some of these keywords are appearing, right? Because they are suggested products that have these features, which we are not really talking about right now. Okay, so pretty much we have covered most of it, and we have written about 1723 words without much human touch at all, right? We don't, I mean, human coming in to put in, right? So if I want to add like more human top ones, then I would say like my recommendation, right? Then I can put in my own thoughts, right? So like I can say something like personally I feel that if you are a serious gamer, the mechanical keyboard is essential to your you know is essential to your toolkit. Okay, then I can just put in my thoughts in there, and then to make it a little bit more human. And of course you can take this content, and because some of the words are mentioned multiple times, such as textile bump, textile feedback. Okay, so these are mentioned quite a few times in here. Okay, these are mentioned quite a few times in here, and I've not even expanded on the cherry MX green switch, right? So let's just kind of finish this. Okay, so that's all, right? And then there's also MX clear switches with no spring-loaded mechanism inside. So that's another piece of content. Okay, and then just continue writing. Okay, then you got blue switches with stabilizers. Okay, so you just continue writing, and we have possibly, okay, then it's run out of context already. So there we go. Okay, so we have actually written about 1853 words in about 30 minutes or so. We did some editing, and also on top of that, you can put there are some questions in here, right? So you can just copy these questions in here. How do you clean a Cherry MX switch? Then you can just answer the question. Okay. Okay. So the question part will be useful for you to add in okay. Certain gaps that you are missing out in your content. Okay, so they actually tell you how to clean the keyboards in here. Okay, so there we go, right? We have like written 2080 words already. We are very close, in fact, to hitting the word count that is recommended. Okay, so the content grade is B right now. Okay, and then we can move this piece of section up as well. Okay, 2080 words. We can look for more keywords that more questions that we've missed out and put that in as well, like this one over here, right? Roma G versus whatever. Okay, so let's say we put in this one here. Okay, then we can just write. Okay, wait. Okay, so now it's writing again. Okay, so there we go, right? We've written another section right here and answered another question. Now it has hit the suggested word count as well. Okay, so I think we've probably covered a few more of these keywords as well. Okay, and then there's another one which is the caliph, this keyword right here, right? So I can even just put that in and then generate something and fill this piece of content up, right? Written 2,361 words till now. So as you can see, right, why Scalenut is so powerful is because it is writing sorry, my bad. It is writing a lot of relevant content for me without me being having to actually jump in and make edits or directing the AI much. So I've written just an entire article while doing this video in like 25 minutes or so, and I personally am feeling that Scalenut is really worth it for what it does. Able to write so much content with very little time spent in you editing the content yourself, right? You having to direct the AI generating it multiple times. You can see that most of the time when I just click write with AI, it just spits out exactly a relevant content that I need to place in the article itself. So that's all I have. I highly recommend that everyone grab Scalenut. Is definitely worth what the price that you're paying for it. Yes, it is hyped up, but it matches and is worth the money. The price is worth the value of the tool itself. So that's all I have in this video. Let me know what you think about Scalenut. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and lastly, if you know anyone who you think should check out this Scalenut video, please share this with them, and I'll see you in my next video.